everyone, this is Marin, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Angela. You've got episode 132, How We Homeschool Through a Pandemic, Part 3. We are going to get to that in just a few minutes. First, we wanted to just say hello and welcome to all of you. We're so glad you're here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
If you're new, welcome. We are so glad you're here. If you are returning, we're so glad you come back. Thank you, everybody, for your support. A special shout out to our Patreon supporters, and Jennifer is a new patron this week. Welcome, Jennifer, and thank you for your support. This episode is actually brought to you by our $5 squad on Patreon. Patrons make our work possible, and they get more. 2 extra episodes every month. Every time we do an interview, we get an extended interview in Patreon, and they are first to know about all of our news and announcements. You can join now at patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined.
Yes, and we are going to be from now until like an indefinite amount of time. We are going to be recording every week, which hasn't happened for a while. I know we started out doing weekly podcasts, and then we got so busy and have been doing every other week for quite a while.
Maybe a year.
Yeah.
I think a year. Mm-hmm.
But we've always kind of wanted to get back to once a week. It always felt like more of a flow for us, and here we are.
Yep. Here we are.
It just took a pandemic. But I'm so glad we're doing this again. I mean, it feels good to kind of reconnect every week with everyone. And I think just all of your support means so much more even right now, I think, as we, are looking for connections in other ways besides, in physical,
Yep.
real life time. So,
yep. And so these episodes that we're recording through this pandemic are going to be, we're going to talk about the state of the family. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk about the nitty gritty, which is exactly like how we're, not exactly, but more detailed about
what are we actually doing?
What are we actually doing homeschool wise right now?
Yeah.
And that changes every week, for me at least.
Yes.
Parts of it do. So it's good to have that update.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I know you've said, and I think about this every day, Angela. You say, something could work for 3 days and then it doesn't work anymore. And that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong.
So last week we have other things. We have things that worked last week that do not work this week. And now we're moving on to something else.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. It's just reality. All right. So let's start with the state of the family.
All right.
Marin, why don't you get us started? How is your family doing right now?
Okay. So for me personally, it kind of feels like Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like that to you? I mean, I kind of feel like I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like vacation. It's not vacation, but it's like the time warp of vacation, but it doesn't feel like vacation at all. Yeah. So it's just like this really, really interesting. I'm sure everyone has their own thoughts and ideas on that, but that's what I'm feeling like right now. And I'm trying to find ways to not make it really feel like Groundhog Day every day. Like we're going to do something different today, but that really does take a lot of, I think, mental, emotional energy and to make it different every day.
Yeah.
When we're here. So do you feel that way?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, there's something to be said about keeping your days the same and like having a rhythm. I think that's really helpful. And also I think it's good to put in little, it's Wednesday and this is what we do on Wednesdays or something like that, just to make Wednesday special. But then it is hard to think about, there are 7 days in the week, and it's hard to think about how to make those days special.
Exactly. And they don't all have to be special. Like I think about that sometimes. I'm like, well, I shouldn't put that so much pressure on myself either to make this like an amazing day. This is not going to be an amazing day. I thought it was interesting. I know I posted about this or storied about it on Instagram, where I like to watch Glennon Doyle every morning.
Her family meeting.
Her family meeting she has every morning. And there was one morning where she was talking about how it's getting chippy. It's getting a little chippy. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about how that happens in soccer games. Her kids are in soccer, and when it gets kind of this intense part of the game, the parents get a little chippy And the players get a little chippy, and it's like, we're all just kind of a little bit on edge, and I'm feeling that. And it's interesting because I feel like I'm taking really good care of myself. I'm doing the things I need to do to take care of myself, and yet I'm getting a little chippy. My husband, even this morning, like I was writing on our little whiteboard what we're gonna do today, made the list, and I was like, kind of like yesterday. I said something like that, and he was like, maybe, I mean, he said it in such a nice way too. And he was like, maybe, like it's Thursday, maybe we should, maybe on Thursdays we do something different. Like, should we think of something to do on Thursdays? And I was like, and like normally I'd be like, maybe, but I can't really think about that right now. Or I'd say something like a little nice. I was like, I have to leave the room right now. That's my state. That is the state of, where I'm at right now. Like I can't
How dare you suggest that?
Cannot even respond to this right now. So that's the state of our family. But so one of my kids, though, I was going to just give you the state of like where we're at school wise. One of my kids is going to school in the area in public school. So thankfully, I'm so thankful for the Austin School District because every email, and there are a lot of emails that get sent out, is like, we want your kid to be whole and feeling like this is, that school is doable and it's good for your family. So they've given us lots of possible things we can do. We haven't had to do one thing yet. Next week, they're going to start online school, and I don't even know what that's going to look like. I'm going to a Zoom meeting after this about it. And, but even in those emails that have said next week, this is happening, but we want to make sure your kids feel like this is a good thing for them and you. So, I don't know that I don't know what to expect. And I feel like some of those unknown things, especially things like, having my child do online school where it's not the thing that I would probably like choose for them to do. I am feeling anxiety about that. And I think it's creeping into, just everything, all of my conversations with everybody or whatever. So, so I will actually I might be just a little bit relieved once it gets going.
Yeah. So you at least know.
And we know if it's
week.
working or if it's not working. We'll just know. Yeah. Yeah. And then my oldest, my 13-year-old, is doing online co-op right now, which is very interesting. They're actually they're kind of spreading out the classes because of the teachers, home schedule and things like that. So it's not condensed into a day or two. It's like all throughout the week, but in, smaller time frames. So far I feel like that's really going well. My 13-year-old is very independent and responsible and wants to get her things done, and so she forgets sometimes, but she really wants to do it, so she has that going for her. And so I do feel like I can be kind of hands off with that, and she really needed to do something away from the rest of the family anyway, so she just goes into her bedroom with a computer. And I feel like that's giving us a little bit of a breather, all of us,
Yeah, good.
So, and I think she's enjoying it. Like just even the virtual social time.
Yeah, right.
In a classroom.
I mean, it's something.
It's something. I'll take it. And then two of my kids, one of my 11-year-olds and my 9-year-old, they are not doing school or co-op. And so, but I also feel like they're kind of two kids who kind of explore on their own. They do a little more independent, like interest-led learning naturally. I do feel like I want to slowly add some things in, but I'm trying to be very careful about doing that so it doesn't get to be overwhelming for any of us. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so right now I feel like we're kind of on the needing more things to do for those two.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's always going to be a balance. Like we always talk about how it's probably going to end up being too much, and then it'll be a little too little, and then we'll kind of hone in, but
and they're both coming off of different school experiences, because your 9-year-old was in school, so you didn't, for a little bit. Weren't homeschooling her.
Yep.
And then your 11-year-old was in this co-op, which was kind of a all-encompassing kind of thing. So they're you're kind of like, I mean,
This is new.
let me just put words in your mouth. You're deschooling a little bit from those things.
Thank you. Yes. This is why we do this podcast, everyone, because like we both need to hear this from each other so much. And you're right. It's true.
You're deschooling from that experience.
Yeah.
Like they're doing, more interest-led stuff, their own kind of thing. And now you're thinking about what can I add in?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Okay. Yeah. And then the other thing, and I just want to talk about this because I feel like some people might relate to this. I feel like because of this kind of, now that you've put those words into my mouth, you're right. It's like deschooling. I've felt like we needed a little break, and we've been watching a little more TV or, playing more games and, I don't know, just wearing our pajamas more. It's quite a relaxed atmosphere a lot of the time here. So it's kind of jarring. We're just trying to figure out how this works with Sean at home, who is working 100%. He's working at like 1,000%. He's working so hard right now. And he has to. I mean, it's kind of like non-negotiable that he works really hard right now for our family. And so, because as a parent, as a mother, especially, I feel like, or whoever's staying home and being with kids all day, I feel like I work kind of at a marathon pace where I'm like, I need to take a rest now. And then I can work at kind of less of an intense speed, but like still work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sean is like definitely, a sprinter. And so we're all at different paces. And so I feel like sometimes guilty that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still in my pajamas and watching TV, and he's like working so hard. And then sometimes I'm working so hard and he's coming in like, or he'll go rest. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, like this, I'm working so hard and you're resting. So I feel like I have to, I don't know, I just want to process that more, because this is a new world we're living in, a new life for a while here. And so we're just, I'm trying to process all of that.
Right.
It's not easy.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
all right.
What's the state of your family and you?
Well, okay. I have these two really strong feelings right now, and they're kind of competing for my brain space. One is gratitude. Like, I just feel like more grateful than ever that everybody's healthy. We're still, we have all our family, we're communicating, my husband has a job, we're able to be together, like just all of these things I'm so grateful for. And that does not leave my mind. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel a little weird saying this, but I feel like it's an Enneagram 6 thing. Like, I'm just like always aware of what to be grateful for, because my other competing feeling is anxiety, just like all the time anxiety, like, about the world, our family, my husband, all the things. Like, I'm so anxious, like, and I think worst case scenario all the time. And so because I'm always thinking worst case scenario, I am so grateful for what I have in the moment. And so, but I feel like because of this pandemic, it's just intensified for me. Like, both of those feelings have intensified. And I'm such a strong feeler anyway that it's just like emotional for me a lot. Like, I'm, crying at least once a day, sometimes more. Just about whatever, like about whatever. So I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it reminds me of, did you see the post by Melissa Urban? Okay, I don't know, probably. On Instagram, she said she posted the 7 times I cried today. And she describes all 7. And I was like, I mean, it doesn't take much sometimes. It doesn't take much for me to cry about something. Yeah. So I talked last week about how Jeremy is gone this week. He's traveling on a plane. He got on a plane and traveled to Ohio, and he's coming home tomorrow. So this week has been really hard because of that. I think me and the kids, our emotions are heightened because of the pandemic. Yeah. And our anxiety is all heightened. And then to have him gone, is really, really, really hard.
Totally.
And then also, like, we're worried about him, traveling.
Yeah, for sure.
So it'll be really good to have him home tomorrow. When he comes home, we are going to quarantine him. He's going to be in my son's bedroom. And I don't know if that's like, the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, or if it's even going to work, or does that even help? I don't know, but it's going to make me feel better a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard because we're not going to touch him. We're going to stay away from him. So, like, we're not going to be able to physically touch him, but we'll be able to physically talk or be able to talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that means a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I mean, yeah. So that'll be all new. I'll let you know next week how that's going.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the other thing that's kind of different for me this week, I don't know. I feel like as the weeks have gone on, so we're like 3 weeks into staying home, basically.
Yeah.
So as the weeks have gone on, it's gotten harder. Like I thought it would maybe get easier, but it's just gotten harder. The parenting part has gotten harder. I feel like I am parenting at 100%. And if you would have asked me 2 months ago, I would have thought I was parenting at 100%. And I mean, like, just to be fair, I probably was, but this feels different. I feel like I'm on a heightened state of awareness of like how my kids are doing and responding to all their needs. Cause I know, like, I want to be emotionally available.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I know.
I just feel like I can't let up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough because I feel the same way. I want to be emotionally available, and yet I'm going through this too.
Yeah.
And sometimes because of that, I can't even be emotionally available all the time.
Right.
I need my own breaks and my own like processing time. And so it's a tough position.
It's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. I feel like my self-care has gotten my prioritization of the self-care for me has gotten worse. It's been much harder. That might be because Jeremy's gone. But also I feel like there's like literally no time. I feel like I have 3 kids who are needing me all the time. Some more than others, just like coming at me with things. And if I am not available to them, I feel like they are going to break down. And I don't want that.
I know.
So I really need to work on this. In fact, this is what I need. I'm going to tell you guys I'm working on
Let's
this.
hear it.
So you can ask me next week.
Good.
How it's going. I need that accountability, but I need to like communicate some sort of schedule, or like, this is when mom is going to get the time.
Yes.
Totally. Because I'm not getting it really right now. So
yeah, I think that's so. I think this is a universal problem right now, for sure.
Yeah, probably.
I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think we all need, it's interesting because I always think, am I just getting chippy because I'm an extrovert and I'm not out in the world. I don't even necessarily need to see like, get together with, social groups of people. Honestly, I like want to just go to like a restaurant and see people out in the world, or like, I don't know, go to a park and like see people hanging out.
Yeah.
But right now that would give me anxiety if I saw that, like, cause I'd be like, this is not, it's just this, I don't know, wrestling of what I really want anyway right now. So I just think, is it because I'm an extrovert that I'm like getting chippy and I'm not getting what I normally would need as an extrovert? But I don't think so. I think we're all like needing things that we're not getting, because we're all like community oriented, or we're all, we all rely on a community in different ways. And
right.
So,
right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's hard for everybody. So anyway, I'm going to work on that self-care.
Yeah. Good for
you.
My
kids are older. I should be able to do this. Yeah. But I also feel like my kids are older and they need me in like a different kind of way.
And
like
sometimes a deeper way.
Yeah. Like I really have to be present. I feel like I really have to be present emotionally.
And I feel like the older they get, the less clear answers there are for what they really need. Or like, do you really want me to answer that question, or should or should we just, ponder it for a while? I mean, really, that's what I think a lot of times it is. It's just like listening and just sitting in the tough part with kids. And that takes a long time.
It does.
And energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so the last thing I'll say is I have really kind of stopped listening to the news, like podcasts and well, any other news, any other way I get news, because every time I do and I see like the number of people who died today or whatever, I just like my anxiety kicks up and I like inevitably start bawling about being afraid. Yeah. And when I don't consume that and just try and get through the day without knowing all that information, it's easier for me. So it's hard because I do want to know this stuff. I don't want to, turn a blind eye. Like I want to know what's going on, but I can only handle so much. And so I think today I realized I also needed to mute some people on Instagram who are just sharing the news. They're not like, it's just to other people it might be really helpful, but for me I need to mute some people for a while because I can't.
Yeah, it's not personal, it's just what you need right now.
It's not personal. Yeah. So
I understand that completely. I have thought I want to mute the news as an Enneagram 7. Like I just need something lighter and funnier right now. Like I need to watch something funny, or I need to go on a hike, and just, I don't know, listen to some upbeat music or a really light audiobook or something, or an old episode of the Popcast. Because I've listened to all the new ones. Right. Like I just need something. I need an escape from this for a while. And I loved how our friend Amanda, I think the other day I was saying to her, like, or to all of you, that I feel like I need to not I'm a 7 and I know what I do. I try to escape and I'm not going to try and do that anymore. And she said something like, listen, this is not the time for your biggest personal growth. Like it's going to be okay if you go escape for a while. And I think
that's true.
That was very wise. Thank you, Amanda.
That's true.
And I think that's a good message for everyone. Like this isn't your time to step up and like try something you've never tried before that is going to be really hard, or try to go to your growth point in your Enneagram or something. This is like, okay, let's just try to survive. Let's just survive and do something that feels comfortable and good to you. It's okay, unless it's hurting somebody tremendously. I think it's okay to just be that for a while.
It is. It is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Should we move on to nitty gritty?
Let's do it. Yeah. So
okay.
Should we
go ahead, Maren?
What we're actually doing. So I'm doing a lot of actually the same things as last week. I have changed some things up a bit because it, like you said, sometimes things just don't work. Or I feel like in this scenario, things could be still working, but because it feels the same every day, it feels like Groundhog Day, I just need to change. There's no other reason for it. Yeah. It's not that it wasn't even going badly. Nothing changed. I just need a change of pace because otherwise it's the same day as yesterday and I need it to be different. So, so we have been, I still really appreciate going, on a little hike or something in the morning by myself. And this is not something I have ever really done. I haven't been a morning exerciser like ever. But a few things for a few reasons this has worked for me. Number one, I have started our day later than usual. And so I still like, I don't have to get up early to go exercise. I still get, I still can sleep as, as needed and get up, have a cup of coffee and then go work out by myself. And I don't know. I feel like just giving myself that window in the morning of like a bigger window where we can all just like ease into this day. It's okay to start late. And our start time has been like kind of officially 10 o'clock, like yours probably, but still. But also, if I'm out on a hike and I'm like, this just feels so good right now, and I'm not going to get out here on my own by myself till tomorrow. And if I feel like I want to keep going, I just do.
Yeah.
Because this could save the whole day for everyone if I come back happy. So this is worth it. So sometimes we don't start till 10:30, and it'll often start with. Well, the kids hopefully have done their chores in the morning. So we have 4 kids. 2 of them do the dishwasher, and 2 of them just clean up the kitchen after breakfast. And then we, by about 10 or 10:30, we'll start a short read aloud. I've been doing short, like one chapter. And now that I gave myself permission to do 1 chapter, now people are like, should we just do another chapter? You know what I mean? Like if I were forcing that, we're doing read aloud for an hour or 45 minutes, they would have been, they'd be like banging down their bedroom doors, like, get me out of here. But now, because I've like really held back, I feel like it's become this like more pleasant thing.
Yeah. Good.
And I've also I have a kid who really, did not want to listen to the read aloud this morning. And I said, that's fine. But then you just have to read by yourself. Like you don't get to do other things or have screen time or, whatever. So you can go read by yourself if you want to. So I don't know. I just think, like that kind of worked.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm trying not to be like the dictator where it's like, it is read aloud time, everybody in here, which I have done. You may have heard me talk about that in the past, but so I'm trying not to be like super like rigid about it, but like more inviting about this read aloud time. Yeah. And then we started a new app this week, and I think I talked about it on Instagram, but I am going to give you a follow-up too on that. It's called Dreambox, and it's a math app. And I was getting ads for it, and then realized actually the public schools here use it as more of a like an enrichment to their math. But I think it is a really great math app. I'm loving it. Awesome. I feel like it really, there's no like lessons, but they just learn by doing something on the app. Yes. And it's very, it can be linear, although they have some ways to choose what they want to do next. And there's great reports. I feel like it's so engaging. It's short. I just feel like this is like a good change up for us.
Is it free or do you pay?
It is not free, although they're giving, I think it's a 90-day free membership just while we're all at home. So 90 days. That's for some of us, that could be all you need of this. And then you move on to the next thing. So
I'm signing up.
Yeah.
You convinced me.
Yeah, it just seems like so well made and so well organized. We also I decided I think we need to go back to doing some coding a long time ago, like years ago. My oldest child, who's now 13, I think she was like probably 9, was obsessed with this app called Hopscotch. Yeah. And she played it a lot. I gave her so much time on screens just because of this one app, and it was so great. And I thought, you know what, this is our time to like get back into that. So I actually realized, so I'm just going to tell you this whole story because this is going to help you. Okay. I wanted to sign up for Hopscotch. I realized it's not free anymore. So we downloaded Scratch. Scratch is a great like younger kid coding app, but my kids I think are like it's just a little bit geared towards younger kids. So I emailed Hopscotch and I said, hey, because I think there's a free school version. I emailed them and I said, hey, we're homeschoolers, we're home like indefinitely here. Could we get the free school version? And I just got an email back this morning and they said, yeah, sure, like go for it. And so they're gonna help me out with that. So I would just like suggest if there's any apps that are not free, I feel like it would be worth an email to ask them like, are you doing anything free for this, like while we're all at home, or can we as a homeschool family be like a school? Because I'm sure there are so many apps that like just haven't maybe thought of that necessarily. So anyway, So yeah, those are the things we're kind of been doing in the morning. And then, a couple more things. Sorry. I feel like I'm doing a monologue here. Is this okay?
No, I want to hear. I'm writing down everything you say for
great.
my own benefit.
Okay. Also, for science, there is a great YouTuber. His name is Mark Rober, Rober. Okay. He used to work for NASA, and he's a huge YouTuber right now. Okay. And my son especially has been watching him for a long time. Okay. He just came out he's been doing live science lessons 2 or 3 times a week. And they're live. They're not like as edited or like, in your face as his usual YouTube videos, but they are so interesting. They're so interesting. So we've been watching those.
That's awesome.
So great. We're also still watching Mo Willems sometimes. We're not watching them live, but we're watching them like not every day anymore. Maybe a couple times a week.
Yeah. We'll
watch it now. And then we are continuously watching CNN 10 every day.
You are.
Yeah. And
how's that for like, I haven't been watching that because I don't want to up anybody's anxiety.
Yeah.
How is it for that?
I feel like it's worked out for our family. And I think this is different for every family. But even for me, that's like a good amount of news for me.
Okay. Yeah.
It's 10 minutes and it's not too detailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, so we're enjoying that. So, those things. And then in the afternoon, we're really trying to get outside a lot. I've, for a long time, probably the first 2 weeks, I made everybody ride bike or go for walks or hikes in the afternoon with me. And now we're, kind of just, I've like collected enough things where we can play here too. So some people are going for bike rides, but some people are just like playing with the tennis rackets that I got, or the ball, the volleyball or something like that. So it's just outside time now.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I feel like loosening up that, like, even that little tiny bit of grip that I had on our workout or exercise time or whatever, outside time. I don't know. I feel like it changes sometimes everything. It just, it feels so much more like there's so much more freedom and enjoyment in that activity now. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Still doing screen time in the afternoon. Yeah. And then I have implemented, I can't remember if I said this last week, but I've implemented like this creativity hour in the afternoon where it's either you can do something creative or play, you can play a game while you're listening to an audiobook or something like that. But I also didn't want it to be like, you be creative right now during this hour. So I've been like, I kind of added a few other choices in there, but it often turns into like nice, like kind of a chill creative time, things like that. So yeah,
that's nice. I would like to do that.
Yeah,
I probably won't, but I would like to.
The thing is, though, sometimes like what happens is, like, especially my 9-year-old, who we get to that time and she's like, Mom, I've been creative all day, which is true. She's been, drawing and writing and doing everything all day, which is so true. So like, I don't want to be like, well, you're doing another hour because it's on the board. So I'm trying not to be like that, but I can't get like that. Oh gosh, I need to like let that go sometimes. Anyway. There was a day like today, though, that I was like, we got to do something. And I knew my 11-year-old who loves, she has a YouTube channel but has kind of like died down on it. I was like, I kind of want to just stir that up in her a little bit, get her thinking about it again. So we talked about making a Gorse Family TV show and putting it on like IGTV.
Oh, wow.
And she was
I'd watch that.
Yeah, she was like, Yes. So she's been working on that today.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like, sometimes just planting a seed and, I don't know, starting something.
Wow. That's great.
We needed something.
Yeah.
We needed something. And even though my husband's very well-meaning comment this morning was received in not a pleasant way, I feel like it was like he was right. Like, we could use a little something different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. And then we have one kid makes dinner in the evenings, although there's so much help that goes along with that. So I don't feel like it's really one kid.
You're still doing it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally. And cleaning up. We have a system for cleaning up now and doing the dishes at night, but it's still like, so like you said, it's still 100% parenting during those. Even it seems like it should be really just go with, like, we know this system, let's just do it, but an autopilot time, but it's still so much work. And then we've tried to get out as a family for a walk, an evening walk.
Oh yeah,
which I've really enjoyed that. Although sometimes at that point I'm like, maybe I should just have Sean do that sometimes with the kids.
Yeah, you could stay home.
It might be time for that.
I think so.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah. I'm also playing the Calm app at night still. I think I said that last week.
Okay, yeah. For just you or everybody?
I put it on in the living room. There's a Calm app for Apple TV. So I put it on the Apple TV while everybody's kind of getting ready for bed, and then they come and just like listen. And it's just it makes for a quieter getting ready for bedtime. I'm enjoying it.
What are you putting on the Calm app?
Yesterday I just put on the Daily Calm.
The Daily Calm.
Yeah. What do you listen to?
That's usually what I do.
Okay.
I like that they have the Daily Calm. That's so nice, because then if I
don't want to think about it.
There's no decision making. It's just, okay, I'll play this.
Thank you.
But sometimes I just got done playing a 7 days of dealing with anxiety or something.
Oh yeah, that's
so
great.
There's like a different one every day.
Awesome.
I thought they would maybe have something specific to like this pandemic.
Yeah, me too.
But I haven't seen anything.
I was thinking.
I was like, come on, Calm. This is your big moment.
This is really your time to shine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a long description.
That's okay. People want to know.
Seriously nitty gritty. Okay, let's hear yours, Angela.
Okay, well, this week is not too much different from last week for me, but I'll explain. You guys already know my 15-year-old is a 9th grader going to public school, so she's home with us now, and her school is doing online school, and they've already been doing that for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
But this week is their official spring break.
Yeah.
And so it's their official spring break, except one of her teachers is just ignoring all of that, and she's like, this teacher kind of doesn't get it, like the whole Google Classroom and all that stuff. She communicates differently with everybody.
Yeah.
So
that's so tough.
So anyways, she assigned this huge project. So there's spring break, but also she has this huge project in this one class. And so then my other two were like, well, can we have spring break? And I was like thinking through what does that mean? Yeah. Yes, I would love to have a spring break. Sure. Just like you. I want that. But also we need some structure.
Yeah.
And so we're still keeping the 10 to 12 work time this week. And that's when my daughter is doing her project. And my 13-year-old is in a Brave Writer class. We're doing that at that time. My 11-year-old, he is the one who needs the most structure. So I kind of didn't really I haven't been pushing the spring break thing with him. I've still been doing some stuff with him because I feel like he needs structure. Otherwise it's just screens all the time.
Totally.
You know? So we've just been kind of navigating that. So it's been a little different because of that I haven't been as strict, I guess. Yeah. With the structure during the 10 to 12. But today I kind of I gathered everybody together and I was like, you guys, I'm going kind of crazy. We need a little bit more structure. This 10 to 12 work time, there's a little bit of work happening, but it's not much. And they're like, well, it's spring break. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I don't know. I feel like I need a little bit more structure. I need to be able to predict what's happening. So, yeah. And a lot of things they have to do on their own, but then they need. They decide when they do it, but they might need me to do it. Oh, Mom, I need you to help me with this right now. Right. And it's supposed to be from 10 to 12. And then they'll all come to me at 11:45 and be like, okay, can we do it right now? Can you do it at 12? Yeah. Or can you do it at 12:30? And I'm like, no, I'm done. I was available between 10 and 12. Yeah. You need to start earlier.
I turned my brain off for that now.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then it just maybe doesn't get done. And so anyway, but I also I'm torn because during this 10 to 12 time, they're doing a lot of keeping in touch with family and friends through Marco Polo, through texting. I think that's so important. And like I said, I want to prioritize that. And so they're also like playing chess with cousins online. Today they were like sending packages to friends, baking, like all really good stuff that's important and a priority. And it's like, I don't want to stop them and be like, remember, you're supposed to do math. Like, it's just like when they were younger and we were supposed to do school, but they would all of a sudden start playing creatively. It's the same thing is happening now. And so I have this constant like struggle in my mind, and like most of me says, this is great. They're living life. They're doing normal life things. Like, this is what you want.
Yeah.
But then I think like we can't do that like all the time. We have to do some academics. Like
right.
All of our life can't be this way.
Right. Right.
So I really just, struggle. And I think next week will be better because we'll be a little bit, I'll be a little bit stricter with that 10 to 12 work time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. I totally understand. I think a big part of like the struggle too is we just don't know when this is going to end.
Yeah.
If we had an end date, which I'm not asking for that. I don't think that that's the answer. I mean, for our country.
Yeah.
Because it's like day to day. So I really understand why we don't.
No,
but if we did, I feel like I could be like, well, this week we're doing this and next week and then a few more weeks. I could plan out the weeks at least in my mind. Yeah.
For sure.
And be like,
because I don't know. Is this going to go into the fall? Is it going to go to the midsummer? Is it like, how long is this going to go? And so it is hard it really is hard.
We don't know. Yeah. We just don't. We really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing that's working so well that I am loving is we're still doing deer time at 12:30 and then we're doing family walk at 1.
I love that. Good.
And that I just love. It makes me feel good to see my kids like sitting down and reading a book all together. Like they're supposedly doing that on their own, but like for some reason, just seeing us all do it together makes me feel like, oh, we at least did that.
Well, here's what I love about your time. It's like a shared experience, but you don't have to do anything. Like you don't have to even.
You're not talking.
Socialize.
Yeah, you're just sitting together.
Still a shared. It still feels powerful, like a shared experience.
It does. It does. And I've gotten through I've gotten through 2 books already.
Awesome.
And I probably wouldn't have made the time for myself to do that. So I'm really enjoying that, and so are the kids. And then we do our walk at 1.
Great.
And I'm loving that too. So that is something that I can count on, and that I feel like is going well.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then when we get home, it's about 2, and that's our rest time. That is creative time. I have one who likes to play a lot of music, one who does a lot of room decorating and cleaning, one who does a lot of Minecraft. So that is generally the time for that. That is also the time when I intend to rest or do self-care, but I don't, because I usually just get anxious and I wander the house wondering what I should do, or it's not the full 3 hours, but it's I don't know, answering a question and then I should probably do this. I don't know. I feel lost, kind of.
I feel like during those times, and I feel like that's happening a lot lately to me too. I just stand in the kitchen. I'm standing or leaning on a counter in the kitchen, and I'm thinking why am I doing this? I think it's because somebody usually needs me, and that's just where they find me, or people just go into the kitchen because there's somebody needs something to eat, and I just feel like I have to be available, but I really don't. I shouldn't feel like I have to stand there and just be what is that word? What word am I thinking of? Concierge. That's what I feel like. Sometimes I'm I'm here for anybody who needs me. And I don't think that that's really the answer. I don't, or I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to actually try really hard to up my self-care game during that time for next week. So I'll update. Yep.
I feel like it happens more when you say it out loud. So maybe just the fact that you said it.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Will help.
And then we usually make dinner and clean up. That takes a while. And then the one new thing this week that I've been doing that I've been also loving is at 8 o'clock, I don't have a good name for it except bedtime books and TV.
I like
it. This is where I kind of wish they all started with B's, but they don't.
Yeah.
So,
let me think about
where
that.
where we come in my bedroom, and this is what I did. I decided to pair a favorite TV show, which I know everyone wants to do, with reading aloud.
Yeah, that's so smart.
I just felt like I needed, especially since Jeremy's gone, and I hope we can keep it up even when he's back, because we won't be seeing him. I mean, we'll be seeing him, but we won't be.
I know. He's not going to be in there with you.
He's not going to be in there with us. He's not going to be doing bedtime. So I guess we might be able to. So my kids, we're watching Parks and Rec as a family.
Yeah. Great.
We're on season 6. And they always want to watch an episode. And so I said, okay, how about if we do 8 o'clock? We'll watch one episode of Parks and Rec and we'll do a read aloud.
Great.
And they're all excited about it. Not for the read aloud. I mean, since we've been doing the read aloud, they like it. They all snuggle up. They like the story. But if I just said we're doing read aloud, they wouldn't be as into it.
It gets them there.
It gets them there.
Parks
so I
and
said,
Rec,
get your favorite tea, meet in my bedroom, and we read aloud, and then we watch a Parks and Rec, and then we
smart.
Go to bed.
It's so brilliant.
Well,
it is. It is.
I don't know if I'd say that, but
yes,
it's working for now.
I would.
Because, during that time, it would just be like, I don't know, me. I'm going to be busy anyway during that time, like helping people and trying to get them to move towards bedtime and whatever. I don't know. So
pull apart fighting.
It's not like I was resting or doing my own thing during that time anyway.
Exactly.
So that's it. That's my
awesome.
nitty gritty.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Let's move on to loving this week.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. Marin, what are you loving this week?
Okay. I'm loving a show on Netflix, and it is called Self-Made. And then I think the subtitle is called Inspired by the Life of Madam C.J. Walker.
Yes. I've seen this.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I've seen the ads.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've wanted to watch it.
I know. I saw it on Netflix and I was like, this is for me. For sure.
Yeah.
Number 1, Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's so wonderful. Anyway, it's about this woman, CJ Walker, who is an entrepreneur. It's from like the early 1900s. She creates this I don't know, this hair products basically, and how she grows it into this business. She becomes the first Black woman who's a millionaire. She becomes a millionaire. Yeah. So I haven't gotten to the part where she becomes a millionaire, but it is so interesting and so inspiring. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving the directing is so good because it really mixes like music from today with this whole life of from so long ago. So it is just so brilliant. I love how it's put together.
That's awesome. Okay, so are they releasing episodes every week?
Okay, so I think this is it. I think it's because it does say it's a limited series.
Oh, okay.
So there are only 4 episodes out, and I think that's all there are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
it's doable.
And I am halfway through.
Yeah.
So, and I'm kind of like now thinking this is when it's a good, it's a good series, when you're like, I kind of don't want to watch another one because I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be over. I want these characters to keep going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for that recommendation because I had been wondering if I should watch that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's a delight. I'm loving it.
All
right. What are you loving this week, Angela?
I am loving a book. It's called With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. She wrote The Poet X, which was my favorite book of last year. You haven't read With the Fire on High, have you?
No.
I know you read The Poet X.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but not this one.
Oh, gosh. This is just as good as The Poet X.
Really? Oh.
Yes, and I'm listening to it on audio. So this is it's young adult fiction. And it's written in verse, and it is about a young Black Latino girl who is in high school, and she is an aspiring chef. And so it is about her life, and it's just, gosh, it's just so well done. It's just so well done. I'm loving it. I'm about halfway through, and it is, what I love about YA is it's easy enough for me to understand YA, right? Like in a hard time like this, I can't think real deeply about what I'm reading.
Right.
But also the writing is so phenomenal. It is just the writing and the poetic writing is just phenomenal. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it, along with the Poet X if you haven't.
Poet X was so
read
wonderful.
the Poet X yet. And it's read by the author, and so it's just so good.
Yeah. So good. And if it's, I don't know if it's as long as the Poet X was not super long, so I felt like it was such a doable.
It's doable.
Is this one?
This one's shorter.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's doable, and I reserved it from the library, so I mean, it took a while. It took a few weeks to get it, but I finally did.
Yep.
So
great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We will be back next week.
Yes,
with another update. And in the meantime, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We have our website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.